doing that can sometimes be even more harmful than if you never made the relationship in the first place, because at that point you have lost their respect because you haven't been fostering that relationship. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Apple Crider and I make videos to help young entrepreneurs get to where they're looking to get through both personal branding and social media. So in 2019, your network is your net worth, guys. You really do have to be very mindful of the network that you're building and really try to foster a network that's going to allow you to get to the places that you want to go. So today what we're going to be talking about is I'm going to show you guys my exact system for how I keep track of all of my different relationships, both personal and business, and how I'm able to categorize those and make sure that I stay in touch with the people that I want to stay in touch with and that I remember all of the connections that I have made, because as you begin to make more and more connections, it can be easy to let connections go and to fall off, but doing that can sometimes be even more harmful than if you never made the relationship in the first place, because at that point you have lost their respect because you haven't been fostering that relationship. So it's very important to keep these relationships in order. Make sure you know who you've talked to, what you've talked to them about, and what you could potentially utilize that relationship for. So in this episode, I'm going to break down exactly how I do that, and we're going to hop right over to my computer so you guys can see exactly how I do it. All right, so here we are on my computer, and this is exactly how I keep track of my business network. And let's just break down exactly how this works. It's pretty straightforward, and we sort of emphasized before the importance of keeping track of who your connections actually are, because especially at a young age, you can really build up some really valuable connections that you can leverage for your entire life. And if you let those fall off, that can be really, really detrimental to your future interactions with these people and your future connections that you can make through these people. Okay, so real quick, it's a very, very straightforward software. It's just a Google Sheets. I just made a copy of this one so you don't actually see my contacts or their phone numbers or anything, because I don't want to give their information to you. But I called it Rolodex, and if you guys don't know what a Rolodex is, then you're probably born after the year 2000, but there was one in my kitchen next to the phone, and it looks like this. It's one of those guys. So if you don't know what a Rolodex is, it's what people used to use to keep track of their contacts, and now it's all done online. So I thought I would call this a Rolodex. That's just me. But okay, so basically what we have here is first we have their name, and that's straightforward. And then from here you can really pick whatever categories make the most sense to you. I think the ones that are really essential. And I should mention as well, I have two sheets. Okay, this one is for like personal relationships, and this one is more for business relationships. So this one I use to keep track of my more business-focused connections. This one's more personal, but again, I can leverage my personal network to make more business connections because a lot of these people have good connections anyway. But we'll go with personal first. So personal, it's very straightforward. Just name, phone number, and I think birthday are the three essential ones. And then the about, which I obviously cleared out all these ones because that's just not necessary for this. But then within here, you can really add whatever categories you want. And I think this is really useful at just getting an idea of who your network is and what connections would be most valuable for what circumstances. So for me, I just have two categories in here right now. I tend to add and subtract and just play around with them to see whatever I'm currently thinking about. So this one, ER, is entrepreneurship rating, and this one is relationship rating. So basically these are just like how likely would I be to, I don't know, start a business with this person or pursue some kind of business venture with this person. And this one's like relationship rating, like how strong is our relationship. So right now I have it sorted by relationship rating, but you could sort it by whatever. And I find it's just a good way to see who your most valuable connections are for what. So if I was looking for somebody who had a strong relationship rating and a strong entrepreneurship rating, I would look here and be like, okay, who is number 5? And number 5 would be a good person to reach out for if I wanted to do something in business with them. So it's sort of just useful for that, and you can add in whatever categories you want. And it's just a good way to like play around with data and make sure you know who you're connected with. I also have here reviewed my podcast. So right now I'm really pushing for podcast reviews on my podcast, Young Smart Money. So I want to keep track of who I have asked for a review from and just make sure that I hit all the people on my list that I think would actually be willing to take a couple seconds and write me a review. So it's good to just keep track of random stuff like that. And really just anything important. I like to keep birthdays on here just so that I hit people up on their birthday and just be like, hey, happy birthday. But other than that, these are the only essential ones, but then really you can mix and match and do whatever you want with this. It's just a good way to quantify your relationships and be able to see like who would be a good person to hit up for what. Now, as far as business goes, pretty similar. Here I have it a little bit different, just name, phone number, podcast episodes, if I've had them on my podcast yet. If not, then I see this blank and then I'm like, okay, I better hit them up and ask them to be on the show. Relationship rating, again, like how strong is our, well, I guess that's net rating. So that's like how strong I feel like they are as a connection. So like how much of a network they could expose me to. And then relationship rating is like how strong our relationship is within that. And then obviously birthday and about are just good to have as well. But yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. I mean, there's not too much to it, but I think it is really important to just have some kind of system down to keep track of your relationships, because if you don't, and then they fall apart, then you've really screwed yourself. And especially if you're at a young age, you're screwing yourself early on, and it's not great to try to dig yourself out of that. So that's my 2 cents here on why I think you should be basically having some kind of way to manage your relationships, some kind of like CRM for both your personal and your business. You could just have one for business. At first I just had one for business, but then I decided to add in a personal one as well, just to like be able to like play around with the numbers and like see who, honestly, I just wanted to keep track of like who I actually knew. So I made a list of like the 150 people that I was closest with. So I think it's also important to do that and reflect on the people that you actually know and like how you know them, what they know, who they are. I think that's just an important thing to keep track of. So that's basically it for the video. I'm gonna cut it off here because I don't want to waste any more of your time. But I hope you guys got some value out of this. If you have any questions for me about how to like design this, again, it's pretty straightforward. But definitely let me know in the comments below. And yeah, let's hop back out to an outro. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got a ton of value out of this. If you did, definitely remember to leave a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Let me know down below how you keep track of your client relationships as well and the business relationships that you make while networking. I would love to hear how you guys are doing that, and maybe I can incorporate it into my strategy to make it even more effective. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. Real quick, just launched a new project called the Online Course Examiner, basically the Yelp of online courses. It is blowing up lately, onlinecourseexaminer.com. Check it out.